I met with Randy Hudson-Mueller and Justin Fisk, and we're in Medora and having something much bigger. But we still wanted to include that original idea because this is the inspiration of why we do this. And so, if we could, we'd have every cover girl, but we have to have a weekend together to do that. So we're so grateful that these ladies have joined us here today. We also have one more cover girl that we want to, it's a surprise. First, Renee Korsling was going to be here. She was our June cover girl. It's something, she had a personal matter come up, and so she couldn't join us today. Our current cover girl, Dolly Dakota, was also planning to join us, and she's fighting cancer, ovarian cancer, and she's had some recent setbacks. But if you read her story, this girl is a fighter. I encourage you to read her story. I've been getting texts from her in her chemo chair, and she is an amazing woman. She texted me this morning, have a safe drive home, she inspires me. Oh, hey. So you probably recognize them. Shayna Munson from July 2016 is our first cover girl. Stella Beach from April 2017. Tracy Branchard on the end from June 2017. And Randy Heisler from May of 2018.
But wait, there's more. Kathy Nesset, you want to come up here, please? Kathy was our cover girl just in August of 2018, and when I saw she signed up, I thought, I'm going to ask her to join the panel because she's the coolest lady. So I'm so glad that you're here, Kathy. We'll talk more.
So let's welcome our cover girls. So the idea today is to give each of these cover girls a few minutes to talk about what's happened since their story was published in Inspired Woman. And then when we're done, we will have a few minutes. If you think of a question, jot it down, and we'll open that up when we're finished with our questions that we have here today. Let's begin with Shayna. Are you ready, Shayna? Yeah, so good. I'm so glad you're here today. I won't forget sitting in your home 1 year after the accident happened in Mandan. And so, thank you. Yeah. So this accident happened in the early morning of June 27th, 2015. Shayna Munson was driving a car. She ended up in the Bismarck Hospital after an accident. She was hanging on to life. A drunk driver had crashed head-on into the car Shayna was driving, killing her friends, Taylor Govan and Abby Rentschler. And we honor their memory and remember them today. The accident nearly killed Shayna. She had a traumatic brain injury, and doctors told her mother, Connie, that if Shayna lived, she would be blind and paralyzed on her right side. But 3 years and 2 months after her accident, Shayna is not blind and she's not paralyzed. She has recovered far beyond what anyone ever imagined. And I'm sure those doctors are happy they were wrong, Shayna. Shayna is our July 2016 cover girl. She was featured 1 year after the accident and was the first cover girl when we relaunched Inspired Woman magazine. And the theme of the issue was New Beginnings. The title of Shayna's story was A Future with Hope. So Shayna, a lot has happened since then. You're way beyond. Tell us what's new since your story was published.
Well, I go to therapy in Dickinson, and I used to go like every day for a week. Now I just go like one day a week for occupational and speech therapy, and then 2 days a week for physical, and then that's it for lunch. And then I volunteered at the hospital, and I'm happy that I got to volunteer there. And I was going for like med school, so I was excited to do that. And then I volunteered for almost 1 year. But then my birthday happened, and then the workers, they offered me a job there. Awesome. And then I like every doctor or worker, they have like a physical file with everything in it, and I'm putting that all on the computer so they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Wow.
And then I'm actually going back to college again, yeah.
One thing I remember from your story too is that, you know, that prognosis of being paralyzed on your right hand, but your right side, but you raised during that interview, she raised her arm and said, yeah, it was a thumbs up, and she's like, I'm not going to give up. I won't give up hope. And look how far you've come. It's incredible. And I saw Shayna, I think it was the day after you got your driver's license.
Well, I renewed it, and I did not get it, but I renewed it.
You renewed it, yeah. So, you were a pretty happy girl that day too.
Yes, I was so happy that I got to renew it, just because like everyone thought that I would have to like go through that driver's ed again and everything, and I was like, oh my gosh, boo. And then they were like, okay, that's totally fine. And then I just have not driven that much because my mom, she doesn't trust me. I have driven like the Ranger at her lake cabin, and then I also drove the boat at her lake one time. And I'm doing very well with that, I think so.
You know, and I like hearing that. I like that you believe in yourself so much, and you can say that. You know that not all of us can say that. You know, I'm good at that.
Yes, awesome, and I think I'm good, but I do not know.
What accomplishment are you most proud of, Shayna?
I'm just so proud that I survived because the doctors did not think I could ever, they didn't think I would live for one, and I'm happy that I'm living. And they thought that I would be in a nursing home someday. Well, they thought that I would live in a nursing home from here on out. And then I'm like, haha, you're so wrong.
Have you seen those doctors and actually said those words?
No. I saw the doctor who basically saved my life and everything. And then I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for doing that. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're so much better than I ever thought you'd be. And I was like, oh my gosh, cool.
When we talked back in May of 2016, your mom spoke about a verse that she clung onto after your accident, and it was from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. None of us can say that we know what God's plans are for our future, but have you discovered a calling in, we don't know why things happen to us.
I don't know why this accident happened, but I still want to become a doctor someday, and I just really hope that I can just give some people hope for their futures and everything, because I was like, okay, I had an accident and I went through like a whole lot, and then I would just be like, I'm here now, so that's okay, so just keep on moving forward.
That's awesome. Can you share how your faith has helped you during the recovery and any time, since as you've moved forward?
Yes, my faith is extremely strong, and it still is, and I'm just so happy for that. And I know that God saved me for a reason, so I just want to help others with the reason that I'm still here.
And your faith was strong before the accident.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of your friends were friends who...
Yes, and they all prayed for me, and I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, a lot of people prayed for you, Shayna. So, in the last line of your story, like I mentioned, you said, I'm never going to give up. Tell us your future. Tell us what you believe, what you're dreaming for, what you're hoping for.
I just really hope I will become an anesthesiologist, like what I wanted to do before. And I hope that I can just give some people like motivation and just keep on moving forward no matter what. And then the most challenging thing for me was that I'm not living on my own, not yet, but I think I will get there eventually. Yeah.
Isn't she an inspiration?
Is there anything else that you would like to add, Shayna?
I don't think so.
Okay. Ladies, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Shayna? Or any comments?
You have the most beautiful smile.
The most beautiful
Oh
smile.
my gosh, thank you. I'm so happy that the accident did not influence my smile.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you.
I was wondering, do you speak to any groups of high school students? Because your story is a great inspirational story.
I have not spoken to anyone yet, but maybe I will do that in the future. I think that sounds good to do, yeah.
That's a great idea.
And this is the biggest, people that I've spoken to since after the accident, yeah.
This is the biggest group?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, you've honored us by being here, Shayna. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question, if anybody, before I turn the mic over to Jody. Because she can hold it together better than I can. All right. Thank you so much, Shayna. Let's give Shayna a